My parents made sure I had a very strict Christian upbringing, which, as you can probably tell, definitely had an effect. Although probably not the effect they wanted. I tried to believe, I really did, but belief is one of those things that you can't really force. You either believe or you don't. So I'm sorry, Mum and Dad, but I don't believe Jesus walked on water. I'm willing to concede, however, that due to its nature as a non-Newtonian fluid, Jesus could have walked on custard, but not water. I think I'd be much more likely to believe in God if one of Jesus' miracles had been to turn the entire Lake of Galilee into custard. I think the world would be much happier and peaceful if one of Jesus' miracles had been to create hundreds of thousands of tons of pudding. And for his next miracle, Jesus did turn Mount Sinai into apple crumble. And the people did feast on apple crumble and custard crumble. No, 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 oh Lord. Now that's a God I could believe in. A surreal, funny, happy God. And that's one of my real problems with the Bible. There are no jokes. Not even a one-liner or a limerick. God does not have a sense of humour. There's nowhere in the Bible where it says, and Jesus did say to his disciples, "Verily, my brothers, my dog has no nose." "But tell us, O Lord," cried his disciples, "how does your dog smell?" "I say unto you, my brothers," answered Jesus, "that my dog smells awful." And if you look at the Old Testament, you'll notice in the part where God speaks to Moses from the burning bush, he did not open with the words, "knock, knock." So I ended up as an atheist, but an atheist who knows the Bible inside out. So I started wondering how those crazy, wacky stories in the Bible came about. And I've come up with a couple of theories about the origins of those myths. For my first theory, I will use Jerusalem as an example. Jerusalem is a very important place in all the Abrahamic religions. It's the capital of Israel, the Jewish promised land. It's obviously very important to Jews. It's the site of Jesus' crucifixion, his ascension to heaven, so it's important to Christians. And it's also where Muhammad ascended to heaven, so it's very important to Muslims. Now, Jerusalem's popularity as a site of religious experience may have caused some trouble over the years. Don't quote me on this. I think it could be responsible for the tiniest amount of attention. Now, a lot of religious people have used this popularity as evidence that their religion is true. They think God particularly likes that specific geographical area, just that one little bit. I see it the other way around. Here's my theory. I reckon that there's only one main spring in Jerusalem where most people get their water. And in and around that spring are growing, I don't know, maybe mushrooms, or possibly truffles, or maybe some kind of weird glowing algae. So I think a lot of those crazy miracles could have happened something like this. Oh my God, look at that! Look at what? That. There. What? Where? What do you mean where? There! It's Jesus ascending to heaven. Look, you can see the choirs of angels adoring him. I can't see anything. There! That's a seagull. Are you thirsty? Come to mention it. I am quite parched, yes. Here, drink this. Ooh, thank you very much. Lovely. Very refreshing. Slightly mushroomy. Oh my God, you're right. Jesus ascending to heaven. I can see the hosts of angels too. I can see you, Lord. That's amazing. Whoa, oh, look over there, look. There's purple elephants playing leapfrog. Bloody hell, what's happened to my legs? If lots of people in small geographical areas start seeing crazy things, the human reaction seems to be to look up to the heavens and to look for gods. But in my opinion, we should be looking down, because there's probably something in the water. For my other theory, I will use Abraham as an example. Abraham was the source of the three main Abrahamic religions. Abraham was a man who heard a voice in his head that he decided was God. The voice in Abraham's head, which he decided was God, told him to take his son to the top of a mountain and sacrifice him. At the last minute, the voice in Abraham's head, which he decided was God, told him to stop. Now, that very tense, walk back down the mountain. Just what the bloody hell was that all about, Dad? That was God's will. Have you been listening to the voices in your head again? In biblical times, hearing voices in your head made you a prophet. These days, it makes you mentally ill. And it's interesting to note that in the Bible, prophecy runs in families. Just as mental illness does. So, could all of religion be down to hallucination or undiagnosed mental illness? Well, it would account for all the insanity and the contradictions and the inconsistency and the evil that you find in most religious books. This book is full of madness. It was written by hallucinating mad people. Oh, well that makes much more sense. Well, I won't bother with this shit anymore. Right, with that final piece of blasphemy, and before my parents disown me for good, I should probably start bringing this to a close. Thank you for laughing, you've been very nice, even though there aren't that many of you. You are lovely, I like you a lot. I'd like to take you all home with me. Unfortunately, I haven't got nearly enough room in my freezer. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.